All right. We are live. Let me make sure we straight. Yes, sir, we live. Okay, man. Welcome. I think we're waiting for Back Snatcher. But we all here with liquid extractions. Okay, Back Snatcher is here. All right,
Thank you.
cool, man. So welcome to the Wednesday review. I'm Professor Liquidity. We got liquid extraction, back snatcher, and then simply every Wednesday we're gonna come on here and we're gonna give our best setups. If we haven't taken any setups for the week yet, we're gonna give a breakdown on potential heists that we might be running Thursday or Friday. Okay. So back snatcher, liquid, yo, audible man.
Yo, what's the deal, man?
I got your voice.
What's
Back
up, brother?
snatcher,
Can
I'm
y'all hear
here.
me? I'm
Yeah,
here
yeah,
chilling, man.
okay. Audio check is straight.
All right,
All
sounds
right,
good. Sounds
so let's get into it. Who wants to go first, man?
good.
Uh,
I'm still getting my
Let me,
screens in
yeah, Leon, I'm
order.
gonna still get my charts ready. Let me
no,
pull my
no
charts up.
problem, man. No problem. Let me share my start.
And we're live on YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
Let me know when y'all can see my screen. Oh, sure. Y'all see my screen?
Yeah, I
Yes,
can see your screen.
sir.
Cool. All right, let's get into it. So, I haven't really pressed the button much this week. Uh, even today as well, I didn't press any buttons on US 30. Price action was kind of choppy, kind of confusing for me because I was still trying to be bullish, but apparently price is now in a sell program. Probably gonna come retrace and take Thursday's lows. But let me turn on my spiders really quickly. And then I'm gonna take y'all back. So for US 30, um, in my opinion, the best trade actually came on a Monday. So coming to this week, I have a new rule that only trying to trade 3 days out the week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Uh, so therefore, trying to practice on discipline, not trading Monday or Friday. I believe Friday should be paydays. But that's something I'm trying to practice. Okay, so let me rewind and go back over here. All right, so this orange line right here, this is the weekly open, Sunday. And as you can see, what I like to do now is I like to identify my range. Okay, so what's my range? Price made this low, came up and made this high, then price made this low. And after that, we really just fizzled in between. Okay, so this high and this low, that's my range. Okay, now what happens on Friday is Friday, as markets were closing, we see price taking out this high, which is Thursday's highs, and now slowly falling. So when Sunday came, it's pretty simple. You're just gonna wait for a flashbang of some sorts, and before you try looking for any type of entry. So between my between my main range, this high and this low, this will be your external range high, external range low. Between these external range, we're gonna have internal liquidity. Okay. So we see we have this low, we have this low, and we have this low right here. Okay. So simply just gonna wait. Since price has taken out this high, there's a high possibility that price can come see this low. Okay. That was my analysis going into Sunday when price opened up. But right here, you always want to be monitoring your internal liquidity points. Okay. So let me fast forward this a little bit. So now right now, this is Monday. This is London session. So something I'm gonna do over here is just mark out this is Friday's this is Friday low. Okay, then we can delete this one. So we have Friday's low now, and we have Friday's high. Okay, but we're still monitoring this Thursday low. So you see right here, coming into New York session, let's go to the 5 minute. Okay, coming into New York session right here, we have the 8th NYSE open. Okay, so stock market opened up, and right now we're clearly selling. You don't want to do anything. But we see right here at 8:30, once price opens up, we immediately go down and we take out Friday's low. Okay. Now with this, whenever you're at a low, there's one or two things that are gonna happen. Okay. Price is gonna violently close beneath this low, come back and maybe do a proper retest before going lower. Or price can either wick this low, or price can close beneath this low and then close right back above this low. Okay, which is what we had. Okay, so this is just a liquidity grab, a fake out. Okay, so right here, once price takes out Friday's low, this high that we formed right here. Oops. Let's go to the 1 minute chart. Okay, so now the 1 minute chart, you can see that this was NYSE open, price drove lower, and then right here we create structure, form a support, and we now push all the way up. So now this high, this is the high that pushed price down to go ahead and take out Friday's low. So this high right here is significant. So once we finally close above, so you see now this is the high. Look at how we close above this high and we come back and properly retest and start printing bullish. Okay. So compared to here, as we're coming down here, taking our Friday's low, we close beneath it, but we don't do a proper retest and keep going lower. We close right back within the range. Okay, so that then that's a signal to you that there's a high probability that price doesn't want to go down lower and price wants to go to the upside. So right here, this would have been the best setup right here. You can probably put your stop loss beneath this loot zone right here. And then with that, entering that entry, you can simply go target this black line. I'm just gonna write out here. This is Friday's high. Okay. So clean price action, um very, very simple. Unfortunately I did not take this because once again I'm trying to practice not trading on Mondays. But this was a very great trade, probably the easiest trade that's happened so far, in my opinion, on US 30. So let me go to the hour. Let me stay on the 50. Okay, so this is the aftermath. So even looking on the 15 minute, you see how we create this bullish engulfing. Okay. Let's create this bullish engulfing after this low. That right there is now your C4. Okay. And then you can look to enter somewhere in this zone. But once again, you want to use that lower time frame, which worked. And you would have been able to get this precise entry with a minimal stop loss to go ahead and target Friday's high. Okay. Uh, so now you can see, after all is said and done, let me put my dividers back on. Okay, so you can see right here, price take out Friday's high, consolidated, pushed all the way up. And then this was Tuesday, and we see this violent turn all the way back down into this. This was a 4 hour loot zone. So today I was thinking price would maybe want to continue back buying, but after reanalyzing, price has already made a new all-time high. So when you think about it, price, the market is always seeking liquidity. So a price making all-time highs, there's no liquidity up here. Everyone is probably TP'd and sold off. So now where's all the liquidity? Is going to be down here, this low right here. Because anyone that was buying, they're now trailing their stop loss. Or if anyone is getting in here, imagine you're taking an entry down here in Friday's low, you're putting your stop loss down here. So now we have all this orders over here, liquidity down here, and which is why now price is in a sell program. And then even just using this Friday's high right here as a zone. See, this was Friday's high, rejection, finally pushed above it. And look, now that we close above this high, is price properly retesting this zone and going back up? No, we close back beneath the range. Okay. And then we finally come up today, hit that one more time before finally selling off. So yeah, man, that was the price action on just 30. These sells could have been tough if you were still predicting buys, which is why I said this trade right here has been probably the best setup on US 30 so far this week. But yeah, man, it's my analysis on 30. Go ahead and hand it off to someone else. Let me know what y'all think about, man.
That's
30
solid.
30.
That's solid, man. Solid analysis, man. I like how you broke it down. I'm a I'm a I'm gonna go ahead and go over Nasdaq because Monday I did catch Nasdaq around 6 a.m. and it was a pretty beautiful thing.
Solid, solid. See it.
Let's see. So for Nasdaq, I was taking shorts. So since we're at all-time highs, I'm like a short fanatic. I don't really like to long unless we're in deep discount, and discount is basically the highest probability where price will either reverse or continue. So with us being at all-time highs, I'm logically thinking for a reversal or a short of somewhat to at least a midpoint or some form of structure that makes sense to me. So on the 5 minute, I kind of just watched price overnight as it formed this area of importance. And I won't go too much in depth on this area, but this area is a very important area for the beginning of the week, and I use it to reference all of my trades. I don't trade unless price comes to an area of this sort. So since we've been pretty much consolidating, on Monday, um, everything was pretty choppy. There was no big movements. Nothing really went crazy. And oh, Tuesday, I'm sorry. And Tuesday is when we actually got the move that we wanted. Um, we didn't get any type of impulse moves to the downside. So in that point, it made me jump down to the 1 minute and actually monitor my structure on the 1 minute. And on the 1 minute, as you can see, we held Monday's high as a strong point of as a strong point of I'm sorry. We held Monday's high as a strong point of reference to actually trade away from. And I use this as sort of a resistance zone. And I also use the next strong high, which would be considered this high, and the most recent high, which would be this high, as my current liquidity zones for a actual continuation or an actual reversal. In this case, we never did break over our initial high, in which that would have been my continuation signal to let price go higher and be more patient. But we never closed above this high. So that gave me my first indication that, okay, we may be setting up for a reversal. And I let that play out. And sooner than later, we went and we swept these highs, but we also did not trade above these highs once again, in which I would consider that a liquidity grab, and I wouldn't consider that a continuation. So at this point, I'm monitoring price, and I'm waiting to see where price wants to break down at, and where I could possibly look for a high area of probability after price breaks down to enter and continue and just ride the wave down. In which that would have been this low right here, as this low is under my zone that I deem an area of importance. As it trades under this zone, I monitor price and I drop back up to the 5 minute to get back my sense of direction to know, okay, that may have been aggressive since we're at all-time highs. I need more confirmation. I need more patience, and I need price to give me more of a signal as to it wants to go lower. And in that case, all of these lows here is what I look to be taken out, in which they were taken out. And these two candles right here are of big significance. These two candles right here symbolize a raid on liquidity instead of a inducement on liquidity. So a raid on liquidity is just grabbing money, a smash and grab, your typical smash and grab. We in there, we out of there. We not here for long. Now, an actual inducement on liquidity, okay, now we need you to stick your hands up. We need everybody to wait. We need everybody to sit down tight. Everybody come over here, sit as a group, and we gonna loot the place. We need everything you got. So as I waited for this to be actually induced, I waited for it to trade higher for another smash and grab, at which this would be my entry. We have three rejection candles, and inside of those rejection candles, we have this 5 minute area of importance, and I'll just call that a fair value gap. Word to ICT. Um, and this here just this is my entry point. This is we're going through the back door, or we just snuck in through the top after we got dropped off from the helicopter. It's simple. And my risk has already been predetermined because this potential high right here is what I looked at to originally go short off of. And this was my confirmation that this should not go no higher than this. So typical 20, 22, 24 point stop, let price ride. Calculating price with minis, or not minis, with micros, 20 point stop, that's around $40, 40 to $80, give or take the fluctuation, which is nice per contract. If you don't have a heavy size account, that this is a an acceptable trade you can take with good risk to reward. And we actually have no recent liquidity for us to take out anymore once we actually break down. So in situations like this, the best thing to do is look left. The left is your best friend. Also, from premium to discount, discount would be the lowest low, premium being the highest high. You would use your Fibonacci tool, place it at the bottom, and draw it to the top to help your calculations along with precision into being either as aggressive as you want or as conservative as you want to where your entries and targets at. Me being kind of conservative since we're at all-time highs, all I did target was a liquidity level near the 50 percentile. And that's pretty much it. Minimal drawdown. There was no choppiness in it. It kind of just moved straight to its point because this whole imbalance needed to be filled in general. It never ever got it never ever got corrected. And we usually want all our imbalances to get corrected before we go higher, in which this drop was the correction. So that was pretty much my trade for Tuesday. Even though we did end up coming to my full target, this was my trade for this week so far. I haven't pressed any more buttons yet.
Sheesh. But I remember when you had posted on your IG story like this exact trade. Now
Yeah,
looking back
bro.
at it, it's like,
Posted
bro,
at
that's beautiful. It's beautiful.
posted it at like 6 a.m., bro.
Yeah,
I have been
it's
watching
beautiful.
price overnight, and when price gives you signals, you're not really supposed to ignore them. And my impulses have been on point, so I really don't have no reason not to trust myself.
Beautiful, beautiful heist. Clean extraction.
Yes, sir.
Liquid.
Yes, sir.
Solid.
Liquid. Yes, sir. Solid. Okay, so let me share my screen here. I'll try and make mine straight to the point. Where's my screen at? Let's see. I think it's this one, screen two. Let me know if y'all see my screen here.
Yep.
Yep. We can see it, boss man.
All right, perfect. All right, I'll get straight to it. Okay, so I'm gonna break down this trade here on Nasdaq, which is actually today. So the markets have been very. So I'll start off. This is a trade I took right here to the right of the chart, 15-minute chart. So I was expecting price, and this was all called in the Texas Heist Discord channel. So if you're not in it, you should join. It's a free chat right now. It's a free community at the moment, and we definitely all discuss some of the trades we're taking on a daily basis. So today, this was a trade that I actually saw and executed on, and we're gonna break down the details on the 15-minute chart. If you notice, entry was up here, 40-point stop loss. The full target was 240 points, but frankly speaking, I got out right right here. Hold on, my mouse moving a little slow. I got out about right there at those lows. But price ended up still dropping lower into the level I was expecting. This was called on the chat in the Texas site. So if you're not in it, you should be in it. But so let's get into the details of this. Since this is clarified, let's get into the details. Now, what I'm gonna do is bar replay one time. Right. To the left is your daily chart. So let me just get this chart out the way. This specific day out the way. So if you pay attention, it's being weird. Sorry guys. So to start the week, this is how the week actually looked, right? Well, Monday printed. Let's do this one more time. Another bar play real quick. So this is how the week started. So when I come to the week, I'm looking for where are the PD arrays above or below where price is going to open, right? So obviously, if price is going to open up here, only thing that exists is a PD array below. So my mindset is, how do we eventually get there throughout the week? That's how I initially start looking at price. It's a clear fair value gap, clear daily loop zone. My expectation is I want to see price eventually make its way there. So even though it's a bullish market. So we had Monday go a little higher. And then we had Tuesday drop a little lower and then created what you call a C4, negative C4 or order block. And that's why I have this line drawn here. So now we have an order block in place, right? So you have price open, create downward pressure, creating a change in delivery, and we have this level as a target. And if you look at it from, again, a 1 hour perspective, these are the lows that were in place. This low, this low. It's just really previous day's lows. If you see here, previous day's low, we have the clear level that we haven't traded into. So starting off, I was expecting this to happen. This was, again, called out on the chat. So starting today, which was Wednesday today, my expectations were, let's just go into the 4-hour chart. So let's go into the 4-hour chart real quick. So in the 4-hour chart, what we had was what you call the balance range. So you can see how price traded here, one candle bullish, up, right? And then consolidated and then traded here with one candle lower. So you have buy side only, and then this is matched with sell side. So at this point, right, we have what you call balance range from this candle's high to this candle's low. This area is a balance range, and if that area should be treated as resistance. So another thing that you want to incorporate when you're trading is once price hits a certain level, if it's reacting, you want to be taking trades at that level. You want to be taking action at that level, especially if it's a predefined level. So we had this 4-hour level here on the charts to start the day. And expectation is this can be treated as resistance and then drop us lower in here. So let's go on that 1-hour chart for more details. And if you go on the 1-hour chart, right, I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. So we can start the day. Boom. So same thing. 1 hour chart starts here. Now, what levels, meaning PD arrays, are above or below price? We have at opening price right here. So levels that exist that we are expecting price to go to or attack is these are lows. And then we also have, again, this 4 hour level shade in blue. If you want to take a little step deeper, right, it's really this 4 hour um, fair value gap. I mean, sorry, they have a 1 hour fair value gap here or loot zone. But again, from the higher time frame basis, right, this 4 hour level is what I was also looking at for a level that can easily reject price. So price trades higher into that level, which is exactly what we want to see during the London session, right? And then let's just go on to the 15-minute chart. If you look even in more details, within that 4 hour range, we also have a 15-minute level in that level. So on the lower time frame, we have also a level within the high time frame level, right? So if we extend this, I don't want to extend this out right away, but just watch this level. I don't want to make it overlap too much. So watching all of that. And at this point, before we even got to 9:30 opening, I'm already shorting this because my thought process is price has taken out these highs, right? And if you look at S&P 500 during the same exact time, S&P 500 was not making higher highs. So we have what you call SMT, one asset making a higher high while the other one's not. So that expectation tells me we're in a level I'm expecting reaction, and we're getting SMT at that level. We can likely drop price from here at the end of the day. It's all about taking a trade and putting a risk on the table. So initially, my risk was actually taking shorts here, and actually my stop loss a little bit wider, a little bit above here, this swing high over here. But I was fine with that, right? And then eventually, we get into 9:30. Oh, it just dropped right away. So let's just kind of take a look at that for a second. So if we are to extend this level out, right? It's two levels here. I don't want to extend this out yet, but this level here is extended. Let's just do this real quick. You can see how price respected it, right? But I'm going to take this away for a second. Look at this level that's also created right here. This is an inverse level. So price used it for support at one point. And if you look at these highs over here, if you are to compare them with what was going on with US 30 and S&P, you're going to see a lot of SMT going on. A lot of that you will see S&P 500 refusing to make higher highs. You're going to see US 30 actually making a higher high, right? Especially at 9:30 opening price. You see US 30 actually made a higher high clearing these highs. NASDAQ did not. So you have what you call another SMT at these highs. At this point, my risk was reduced, right? Let's go to this SMT first. So this was an SMT that was taking place, meaning if you paid attention to your charts, correlated assets, you see US 30 ran up higher, clearing out these highs. Meanwhile, NASDAQ just did a little wick, respecting this level that was called out in the chat. Once again, it was called ahead of time. This was called ahead of time. It was respecting that level, and the expectations were if it's going to do that, likelihood we're going to drop lower. So at this point, risk was reduced to about 20 points above these highs right here, because there's no reason for it to want to go back higher above here if it's already shown an SMT and rejected after 9:30. So two things happening at this run up here. We did clear a swing high, which is perfect, but we still maintain to be within here. That's the most important thing. We still maintain. And again, it's reacting all in that 4 hour level. So go to 5-minute chart for a second. Again, 5-minute chart. When it's wiping out these highs here, there's also still a fair value gap here on the 5-minute chart. The price is still reacting to and then dropping. Okay. And we just had price constantly drop. And I mean, one other level that I want to call out that was a nice area to add on if you knew exactly where price is going. I just felt uncomfortable about it and I already made my money, so I got out the charts. But if you look very closely here, there's just a bonus here. If you look very closely, there was a 5-minute level here. Okay. And if you look closely again, when we leave that area, we create another level here. So another nice little entry could have been right here. And that would have been another short. And this is after 10 o'clock. Typically, I like to trade. I'm taking my trades after 10 o'clock, but today I just got in early because it was too clear that it wanted to drop lower. But if you just waited for after 10 o'clock, right? If we draw a horizontal line there or a vertical line there, the only entry that exists after 10 o'clock was this level here. Again, your target would have been down here. So still like a nice, really nice 1 to 6 risk reward, risking 20 points. Expectation price is going to drop to that level there. And it was literally a straight drop. And again, the reason why this level is also a solid trade, if you were to look at your US 30, I want to say there was SMT that took place there on US 30. Let me just make sure I'm not, crafting up a story for you guys here because cool, yeah. So US 30, another 5 minute chart. On S&P, let's look at S&P for a second. So you see this high right here? And you see this high. So I want you to actually pay attention to this high right here, 1050. 1045, 1050, just pay attention to those highs. And notice how this high is lower than these highs over here. But look at what happens with S&P. So let's look at 1050 highs. So look at a 1050 high over here. So you see at 1050 actually made a higher high, clearing out these highs to the left. Meanwhile, on NASDAQ, this stayed in this loop zone, dropped, created another level to enter, and then dropped again. So those were two clean areas where you could have taken a trade. And then eventually I took some buys. But again, this is about the best setups that existed today. There was some buys that were executed from here. I'm not really going to talk about those because it's not really, it's important, but it's not to, if we're focused on the best setup for the week. The best setup was, again, up here, shorting here at a 15-minute level, right? And then on a 5-minute basis, shorting here. And then one other thing I do want to point out is you want to pay attention to what range we're in. So before this run on liquidity here, look at the range. There was this clear 4-hour range. Boom. So in this situation, you want to be selling above 50% and buying below 50%. So notice how this is a 50% level. So it's appropriate when price traded up in here, and now it's above 50%, now it's in premium. It's appropriate for us to expect sales in that level. So that's also just an important call out there that we were above the 50% level, which one of the first things you should do when you're trying to dictate what you should be shorting or long in the market. And even from a 1-hour basis, if you draw this out here too, right? You see that 50% level here, price traded above it slightly and then dropped. So these were all appropriate trades to take. If you draw out your range, instead of rushing the trade, trying to get into early, wait for price to at least get to the 50% of the range. And if you feel like the markets are reacting there, you have everything in place. You're seeing SMT. There's no reason for you not to execute on that trade and just, put your risk where you need to put your risk. So that was essentially the trade setup for the best trade setup I took for the week. And then this was lastly, nothing too crazy. Sunday's opening price, I think is another important thing to call out here. It's shaded in orange right here. Look at the importance of that on the 1-minute chart. You kind of see it hitting there on a 5-minute chart, and it was so weak. Price was so weak that it couldn't go back to Sunday's opening price. Right? So Sunday's opening price couldn't even go back to it after the trade below it. Look how it hit it on the 1-minute chart for a second. Just show you. So those levels are important for you to have on your charts. Look over here, I would hit it, boom, reject it, hit it, boom, reject it, and didn't have any strength to return back to that level, showing that was weak. So this was a level where, honestly speaking, I wish I took another strike at this because this was a clean, clear setup. As to where price was dropping, but I was really satisfied with my target. And on top of that, because this is a bullish market, I didn't want to overstay my being a bear in this market. But it was still a clean setup. And perhaps in a condition where we were already bearish, I felt more comfortable just holding on to that trade or at least adding on there. But nonetheless, nice setup. We fit our targets, and then we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. Still a bullish market, but this was set up for a week. So that's it for me.
Clean, man. Clean. Clean.
Yes, sir.
Man. 250
Yes,
points.
it's solid work, fellas. I like what I'm seeing. We all pretty much look at the markets in a similar way, bro, and it just shows that we all in sync.
100%. I agree. And how do I stop sharing my screen real quick? I'm just trying to stop sharing this shit. Like
Just click. You gotta
I'm
click it in
looking.
Zoom.
I have all these screens, so it's like, okay, I think I see it to the right. No, stop share.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys. I think we so far so good. Strong, and I really think, guys, like the week is just getting started. Like, granted, one's Thursday and shit, but like, I'm still, you know, focused on bullish prices. I don't know how you guys feel, but Nasdaq to me still looks like it can easily turn around.
Yeah, bro.
Mhm.
I'm being a hundred times more patient because I literally I have a problem longing at all time highs. It's just not in my risk profile. Like I'm not comfortable doing it, bro. Like logically, it just it's supposed to go down, bro. So I'm just more patient about the short setups I take.
Yeah.
I'd rather buy under a significant low than try to long in the fair value, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, do you think price has hit a significant low? I mean, I think like if I was sharing my screen very quickly again,
I think we have potentially shifted bearish. Yes, I do.
I think we should do bearish.
Potentially we well not I wouldn't say long term bearish, but for a correction, yeah, I do think we can go lower and grab some more money, grab some more shorts before we continue higher.
I'm with it. I mean, if I look at 30, as much as I see this potentially just turning around because it's already taking out this liquidity pool, taking out this liquidity
Hmm.
pool. Look at a regular trade now, and it's below 50% of the range from this low to high. Look at the regular trading hours. Let's just see. I mean, honestly, it coming below here might actually be hard on some real stuff. Go here. It could, but look at a daily basis. I don't know. I think this is still in a fair value gap. Like I'm gonna focus on bulls until we close below here. But one thing I'll say though, in terms of bearishness though, if you look at US 30 on the is it 4 hours,
Oh, that
let me
looks
do regular trade.
juicy.
Let me use electronic trade hours actually. US 30 has
That
some
looks
liquidity to match.
juicy.
Yeah.
SMT.
Liquidity takes account.
Mm-mm-mm.
Even this right here, like I
Yeah, those
think,
equal lows are beautiful.
yeah, it has a lot of liquidity. It can easily snatch these lows for sure.
Yeah.
And this is why I looked at for
That
the stop.
that wick, that whole wick is nothing but money.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks so juicy. And I don't even like Dirty 30.
And the S&P does look like it could easily,
Take
you know,
off.
keep his yeah.
Yeah.
So
We got news tomorrow, so we for sure gonna
Oh,
see.
oh, we have a catalyst tomorrow?
Yeah, it was 7:30.
Oh yeah, with
Unemployment
yeah.
claims and preliminary, no, final GDP. Unemployment claims, final GDP. So
I want
yeah,
to stay bearish though. I'm sorry, guy. I don't know. I feel like this, as much as it looks bearish, high time frame though,
Higher
this could
time
be,
frame prevails.
yeah, this could be easy order block, push price higher. I mean,
at
is
least
the
on
liquidity,
30, I think those lows can get taken out.
was there
At
liquidity
least,
above? I'm look at how smooth
yeah,
and smooth.
liquidity
So if we
takes
get a
account.
turnaround, Nasdaq same thing. I mean, this is smooth. Like people are, if price
Yeah.
starts tracing back here, if price starts retracing, I'm not seeing that as retracement. I see that as we're gonna go block size
Yeah.
because this is hella shorts are right here chilling. Everyone wants to short the all time highs. I'm just gonna avoid 30 looks better, but if we start trading higher, I don't know. I think I might flip back to bull. I mean, I'm bullish right now. That's all I gotta say. Still, but we'll see how tomorrow. What tomorrow gives us, anyways.
Hey,
Um,
I'm not as patient as you. You know what I'm saying? So short term, I would love to see some drops. Give me drops, man. I like
Yeah.
drops.
Okay.
What
Ralph,
about
let's
gold? Hey,
call this a wrap.
have y'all been looking at gold, bro? I've been hearing a lot of news about it, but I haven't necessarily just looked at gold the
Yeah, I'm
past
looking at
probably
gold,
week.
man. I had a major sell-off today. Um, but I'm being patient for the next run because since last Friday, I think price. Where's my measuring tool? What do they do here? Measuring tool. Let me share my screen real quick. We got a dip. I think it was last Friday. Here, right here. I was looking at price down here. Didn't trade this Friday. Price has gone up like $145. So right now, oops. But I'm just being patient for price coming down to 50% and possibly just somewhere below here. Where I think for some support and all that. I do like this level, this inversion right here, OTE. That's deep. So I don't know, man. Gold just it has a mind of its own, to be honest.
Yeah,
It does
bro.
it does whatever it wants to do.
Gold is definitely a different beast, man. Gold is
It it it,
man.
it, it pays. You catch it right here. Nice little
Gold is
flash bang. Comes back for that failure swing. Order block right here. Man, this could have been a this could be life changing. So still bullish for sure. Just waiting to get below 50%. We do have this one eye for Valley Gap right here at this last previous high. So but now once if I can catch the next major low, I'm looking to swing it. I'm looking to swing it. Like look at this thing.
The beast.
I also think real quick, I think Bitcoin's looking then
Bitcoin
Bitcoin's
is
looking
definitely hey Bitcoin, man. Bitcoin has been looking juicy, bro.
yeah, nah. I've been looking at this level. I think it's starting to go back up. Yeah, Bitcoin looks juicy. But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. Uh, appreciate y'all tuning in. Back snatch, you want to close this out, man? Sales guy.
Man, I'll just say, man, run them heists, stay clean, clean sweep, getaway vehicle, and get the hell out of there, man. Let's run it.
Yeah, facts, man. Just pineapples and orange juice. Keep it smooth. Let it come to you. You
Yeah, brother.
know what I'm
Yes,
saying? And
Lord.
that's all you gotta do, bro. Just let it come to you. If you feel like you're forcing a trade, then just slow down. Take some more time. There's nothing wrong with not taking the trade because you don't lose money. So that's the win too. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it.
I actually like that. That's a good wisdom right there, you know. And I just if we're going just quick little wisdom take I guess a good way to actually close out instead. Like um my take is just be patient. The greats, the difference between the greats and average players in any realm, any sports is their ability to slow down time when everything's moving fast.
100%.
Oh,
100%. If you can't disrupt LeBron, he's gonna score. If you can't
no.
throw Curry off, he's gonna drop 50. Like as long as you're able to get in your flow state, everything works and you're comfortable. So I advise everyone just get in your flow state, get in your neo state, and it'll all come to you. Take your time.
All right, man. We're gonna catch y'all on so Saturday. I think Saturday at 11 a.m. We're going to be going live on IG, and we're going to be discussing biggest lessons learned for the week. So make sure y'all tune in. Once again, if you're not in the Discord, go to the Texas Heist IG page. Click the link in the bio, fill out the form. After you fill out the form, an email is going to be sent to you to join the Texas Heist Discord. Free community. Rome was not built by one person. We're all here to help each other. So make sure you tune in Saturday, 11 a.m. on IG. We'll catch y'all. Peace.